Ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin by sharing a simple but profound truth. What you fail to manage well, you will eventually lose. It's a law woven into the fabric of life, unseen but unbreakable. Whether it's your time, your talents, your relationships, or your resources, mismanagement is a silent thief that steals away your progress, your peace, and your purpose. Too often, we are given great opportunities, abundant blessings, and immense potential, yet we lose them not because they were taken from us, but because we mishandled them. This isn't a matter of luck or chance. It is a principle, a natural consequence of how we steward what is entrusted to us. Today, I want to take you on a journey of understanding that true success isn't just about what you gain, but about what you can sustain through careful, intentional management. Because whatever you mismanage, you will lose. Management is stewardship, not ownership. This simple yet profound idea shifts how we view everything we are entrusted with. When we think we own something, we feel entitled to do with it as we please. Use it recklessly, ignore its needs, or take it for granted. But stewardship changes the story entirely. To steward something means to care for it responsibly, to protect it, nurture it, and prepare it for the next person or for the future. It's an understanding that what we hold is not truly ours to keep forever, but something loaned to us, entrusted in our hands for a time. When we grasp this truth, our entire approach to management transforms. We no longer act out of selfishness or impatience, but with respect and humility. We ask ourselves, am I preserving this resource? Am I honoring the trust placed in me? Am I ensuring that what I manage will be here tomorrow better than when I received it? This mindset creates a sense of accountability that goes beyond short-term gain. It pushes us to be wise, to plan, and to act with integrity. Because stewardship is about legacy. It's about leaving behind something valuable rather than leaving behind loss. When you manage your life, your work, your relationships, or your possessions as a steward, you invite sustainability and growth. You recognize that neglect, waste, or poor decisions are not just mistakes. They are betrayals of trust. This realization empowers you to manage with care and foresight. It reminds you that every resource is a gift, and how you handle that gift will determine whether it flourishes or fades away. The moment you stop being a steward and start acting like an owner is the moment things begin to slip through your fingers. Stewardship demands vigilance, responsibility, and a heart that respects what has been entrusted. This is the foundation upon which lasting success is built. What you have, you must wisely manage to keep. It sounds simple, almost obvious, but it's a truth that many overlook in their pursuit of more. Possessions, opportunities, relationships, and even talents. These are gifts and resources we are given, but having them is only the beginning. The real challenge is in holding on to them, in ensuring they do not slip away through neglect, carelessness, or poor choices. To keep what you have requires wisdom, a deep understanding that resources are not infinite and that they require intentional care. Just as a gardener must tend to their plants daily to see them grow and flourish, so must we nurture what we possess. This means making thoughtful decisions, setting boundaries, and investing time and energy in the right places. It means recognizing that failure to manage what you already have is the fastest route to loss. No matter how much you acquire, Without wise management, it will be gone before you know it. This wisdom also means knowing the value of what you have and treating it accordingly. It means prioritizing and protecting what is truly important instead of being distracted by fleeting desires or careless habits, whether it's your health, your family, your career, or your finances. If you do not guard them with care, they will erode little by little until one day you wake up and find they are gone. Wise management is not just about holding on. It's about honoring the responsibility that comes with having. It is the bridge between possession and preservation, the difference between momentary gain and lasting success. In this world, the ability to keep what you have is just as critical as the ability to acquire it. For without wise management, everything you hold dear can be lost. Mismanagement is the silent thief of success. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare or drama. Instead, it works quietly, often unnoticed, eroding progress and stealing opportunities right under our noses. Success is fragile. It is not a permanent state, but a condition that requires constant care and attention. When we mismanage our resources, whether they are time, money, relationships, or even our own talents, we create openings for failure to creep in. This slow, subtle loss can be far more damaging than a sudden disaster because it often goes unrecognized until it's too late to recover. The thief called mismanagement operates in many ways through neglect, procrastination, poor decision-making, or lack of discipline. It may look like ignoring the small details, postponing important tasks, or failing to plan for the future. These seemingly minor missteps accumulate, weakening the foundation of success until everything begins to crumble. What is worse is that mismanagement can disguise itself as harmless habits or just the way things are, lulling us into complacency while it chips away at our dreams and achievements. Because it is silent, mismanagement requires vigilance to detect and overcome. It demands that we pay attention to how we use what we have been given and constantly ask ourselves if we are stewarding our resources well. Success is not guaranteed by talent or luck alone. It is preserved through intentional, careful management. When we fail to manage well, we open the door for this silent thief to rob us of what we have worked hard to build. Recognizing mismanagement and correcting it is crucial because only then can we protect our success and ensure that it endures. Every resource given is a trust. Mishandled it, and you lose it. This truth reminds us that nothing we have is simply ours by chance or mere possession. Instead, every blessing, every asset, every opportunity is handed to us as a sacred responsibility. Whether it's money, time, talent, or relationships, these are not just things to be used at will. They are entrusted to us with the expectation that we will manage them with care, respect, and purpose. When we view resources as trusts, it changes how we treat them. It demands accountability because we know that we will one day have to give an account for how we handled what was placed in our hands. Mishandling this trust can take many forms. It could be wasting time on trivial things while neglecting priorities. It could be spending money recklessly, failing to prepare for the future, or squandering talent through laziness or fear. It could be treating relationships carelessly, forgetting that people are not possessions, but treasures entrusted to us to nurture and honor. When we mishandle what we have been given, the natural consequence is loss, not just of the resource itself, but of the opportunities and blessings that flow from it. Understanding that every resource is a trust calls us to live with intention and discipline. It means setting boundaries and making wise choices, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. It means recognizing that careless actions today can lead to irreparable loss tomorrow. But when we honor the trust by managing well, we unlock the full potential of what we've been given. We create a cycle of blessing and abundance rather than depletion and regret. This is why stewardship is not just about protecting resources. It is about honoring the trust that makes them meaningful in the first place. Your talents, time, and treasures are sacred responsibilities. They are not mere accidents of birth or luck, but gifts entrusted to you with a higher purpose. Each talent you possess, no matter how big or small, carries with it an expectation. To develop it, to use it wisely, and to share it in ways that bring value, not just to yourself, but to those around you. Ignoring or wasting your talents is like having a lamp and refusing to light it. The potential for greatness dims, and the world misses out on the light only you can provide. Time, too, is one of the most precious gifts you have. It is limited, and once it passes, it never returns. How you manage your time reflects your priorities and your respect for the opportunities given to you. When you squander time on distractions or procrastination, you are neglecting a sacred responsibility to make every moment count. Time is the currency of life, and how you spend it ultimately shapes the quality and impact of your existence. And then there are your treasures, your resources, finances, possessions, and the fruits of your labor. These too are entrusted to you to be managed wisely and generously. When treated as sacred responsibilities, treasures are not hoarded selfishly or wasted carelessly. Instead, they become tools to build, to support others, and to leave a lasting legacy. Recognizing your talents, time, and treasures as sacred responsibilities changes everything. It calls you to a higher standard of discipline, care, and intentionality. It reminds you that these gifts are not for mere enjoyment or selfish use, but for stewardship and purpose. When managed well, they become the foundation for a life of fulfillment, influence, and lasting impact. When neglected, they become the source of regret and loss. So embrace the sacredness of what you have been given, and let your management reflect the respect and responsibility it deserves. Discipline is the gateway to preservation and growth. It is a bridge that connects intention with action, potential with achievement, and dreams with reality. Without discipline, even the greatest talents and opportunities will falter and fade. Discipline is not about restriction or punishment. It is about creating the structure and consistency necessary to nurture what you have and to build upon it steadily over time. It is the daily commitment to do what is right even when it is difficult, uncomfortable, or inconvenient. When you exercise discipline, you protect what you have from being lost to neglect, distraction, or impulsive decisions. Preservation requires ongoing effort. It means consistently showing up, managing your resources wisely, and refusing to let temporary feelings dictate your long-term success. Discipline gives you the strength to say no to what wastes your time and energy, and yes to the habits and choices that foster growth. Discipline fuels growth by enabling you to push beyond your limits, Growth rarely happens overnight. It is the result of persistent, focused effort applied over time. Discipline keeps you on course, even when motivation wanes or obstacles arise. It transforms potential into progress and ensures that your investments of time, energy, and resources yield fruitful returns. In essence, discipline is the foundation upon which preservation and growth stand. Without it, what you have can slip away unnoticed, and what you hope to achieve remains out of reach. But with discipline, you build a fortress around your blessings and a ladder to climb higher than ever before. It is the gateway that unlocks the door to lasting success and fulfillment. Neglect leads to loss. Attention leads to gain. This is a fundamental truth that applies to every area of life, whether it's your health, your relationships, your work, or your dreams. When you neglect something, you allow it to wither, weaken, and eventually disappear. Neglect is a slow and steady process of letting go, often unnoticed until the damage is too great to repair. It's the small moments of inattention, the missed appointments, the ignored warning signs, the overlooked responsibilities that accumulate and cause loss. Neglect is not always dramatic, but it is relentless, quietly dismantling what once was strong and vibrant. On the other hand, attention is the life-giving force that nurtures and grows what you care for. Giving something your focused attention means you are aware of its needs, you respond to its changes, and you invest your time and energy to strengthen it. Attention brings awareness and action, and through consistent care, what you attend to flourishes. Whether it's a relationship that requires listening and kindness, a career that demands learning and effort, or a goal that calls for persistence and planning, attention turns potential into progress. The difference between loss and gain often boils down to this choice: to neglect or to pay attention. When you choose attention, you protect what matters and open the door to new opportunities and growth. When you choose neglect, you leave yourself vulnerable to decline and missed chances. This principle reminds us to be vigilant and intentional with all that we hold dear, because what we give our attention to is what will grow in our lives. What you don't control controls you. This statement reveals a powerful truth about personal responsibility and freedom. When you allow aspects of your life to go unmanaged or ignored, those very things begin to dictate your choices, your mood, and ultimately your destiny. Lack of control doesn't mean you have to micromanage every detail, but it does mean you must take ownership of the key areas that impact your success and well-being. When you fail to manage your emotions, your time, your finances, or your relationships, you give those elements permission to run wild. And soon, they shape your life in ways you never intended. Think about it. When your schedule controls you because you haven't set boundaries, you become a slave to distraction and last-minute demands. When your emotions control you because you haven't learned to master them, you find yourself reacting impulsively, making decisions you later regret. When your finances control you because you haven't budgeted or planned, you live under constant stress and limitation. In every case, what you fail to control gains power over you. True control doesn't mean perfection or rigidity. It means awareness and intentionality. It means identifying the areas where you have influence and stepping up to manage them wisely. When you take control, you reclaim your freedom to shape your life according to your values and goals. But when you neglect to do so, those uncontrolled parts become the masters of your time, energy, and peace of mind. The lesson here is clear. To live a life of purpose and success, you must be the one in the driver's seat. Otherwise, what you don't control will inevitably control you. Vision without management is a ship without a rudder. Having a clear vision is essential. It's the destination you aim for, the big picture dream that inspires and motivates you. But vision alone is not enough. Without management, without a deliberate plan and consistent actions to guide you, that vision remains nothing more than a beautiful idea floating aimlessly. Just as a ship without a rudder drifts wherever the currents and winds take it, a vision without management is subject to distractions, setbacks, and confusion. It lacks direction and control. Management provides the structure and discipline necessary to turn vision into reality. It breaks down the big dream into achievable steps, allocates resources wisely, and monitors progress along the way. It is the steady hand that adjusts the course when obstacles arise and ensures that every action is aligned with the ultimate goal. Without this guidance, energy is wasted, momentum is lost, and the vision slowly fades into frustration or abandonment. Management keeps the team or individual focused and accountable. It creates clarity in purpose and expectations, making sure that every effort contributes to moving closer to the vision. It allows for flexibility without losing sight of the destination, navigating storms and changing conditions with wisdom and control. A vision without management is like a flame without oxygen. Bright for a moment, but quickly extinguished. To reach your destination, you must combine your dreams with disciplined management, steering your ship steadily through calm and rough waters alike. Leadership is about making things last, not just making things happen. Too often, leadership is misunderstood as simply the ability to initiate change, to spark excitement, or to achieve quick wins. While those moments are important, true leadership goes far deeper. It is a commitment to sustainability, to building something that endures beyond the immediate moment or the current generation. Making things happen might bring short-term results, but making things last requires vision, patience, and a dedication to laying strong foundations. A leader who focuses only on immediate outcomes risks creating unstable structures, plans, and projects that crumble as soon as the pressure mounts or the excitement fades. But a leader who seeks to make things last invests in people, processes, and principles that stand the test of time. They understand that lasting success comes from cultivating values, building strong teams, and establishing systems that continue to function long after their direct involvement. Making things last also means thinking beyond personal legacy. It's about empowering others, creating cultures of responsibility, and nurturing growth that is sustainable. It means embracing the hard work of maintenance, consistency, and sometimes even sacrifice, knowing that the real impact of leadership is measured in what continues to thrive when you are no longer present. Leadership, therefore, is not just about initiating action. It is about stewardship, responsibility, and the enduring influence that shapes the future. Failure to manage emotions results in personal and professional loss. Emotions are powerful forces within us. They shape how we think, how we interact with others, and how we respond to challenges. When emotions are unmanaged, they can become unpredictable and overwhelming, leading to decisions and actions that harm our relationships, cloud our judgment, and undermine our goals. In personal life, failing to control anger, frustration, or anxiety can create rifts with loved ones, erode trust, and isolate us from support and connection. Emotional outbursts or withdrawal can damage bonds that took years to build in mere moments. In the professional arena, unmanaged emotions can be equally, if not more, damaging. They can cause conflicts with colleagues, impair communication, and reduce effectiveness as a leader or team member. When emotions dictate your responses rather than reason and wisdom, opportunities are lost, reputations are tarnished, and careers can stall or regress. Employers and clients seek individuals who can handle pressure with grace, make sound decisions under stress, and inspire confidence. Emotional instability erodes that trust and can quickly close doors to advancement and collaboration. When emotions are left unchecked, they drain energy and focus, preventing you from performing at your best. They distract you from priorities and cloud your ability to think clearly and act strategically. Managing emotions is not about suppressing how you feel. It is about understanding, channeling, and expressing emotions in ways that serve your long-term well-being and success. Mastery over emotions empowers you to navigate life's complexities with resilience and wisdom, protecting your personal happiness and professional progress. Without that mastery, the losses, both personal and professional, are inevitable. Guard your relationships with the same care you guard your possessions. It's easy to treat material things with caution, locking doors, setting alarms, and keeping valuables in safe places. Yet too often we fail to apply that same vigilance to the most precious and valuable parts of our lives, the people we love and the connections we build. Relationships are not accidental. They are treasures that require ongoing attention, respect, and protection. Neglect or carelessness can slowly erode trust, affection, and understanding, just as neglect can diminish the value of possessions. When you guard your relationships, you invest time to listen deeply, speak honestly, and act with kindness. You protect them from harmful influences. Whether it's misunderstandings, neglect, or external pressures that can weaken the bond over time. Just as you would repair a damaged possession before it breaks beyond repair, you must also address conflicts, offer forgiveness, and nurture healing in your relationship. The effort you put into safeguarding these connections pays dividends that no material wealth can match. Relationships are the foundation of your support system, your joy, and your legacy. Unlike possessions, which can be replaced or restored, relationships are irreplaceable. Once broken, some can never be fully mended. To guard them with care is to recognize their true worth and to prioritize them above fleeting distractions or selfish desires. When you treat your relationships as sacred treasures, you create a life rich in connection, trust, and love. Something far more valuable than anything you can hold in your hands. Your health is a resource. Neglect it, and you lose everything else. It is the foundation upon which all other areas of your life depend. Without good health, the brightest opportunities, the strongest relationships, and the greatest achievements lose their meaning because you lack the energy, strength, and vitality to enjoy or postpone for later. It requires intentional care, attention, and respect every day. When you neglect your body and mind, whether through poor diet, lack of exercise, insufficient rest, or ignoring signs of stress and illness, you set yourself on a path of gradual decline. This decline doesn't just affect your physical condition, it infiltrates your mental clarity, your emotional stability, and your overall capacity to function effectively. As health deteriorates, the cost is paid in lost productivity, missed opportunities, strained relationships, and diminished quality of life. Conversely, when you treat your health as a precious resource, you make choices that honor and preserve it. You fuel your body with nourishment, move it with purpose, rest it adequately, and guard it against harm. This investment pays off in increased resilience, sharper focus, and greater stamina to meet life's demands. Good health becomes the enabling force that empowers you to manage your talents, time, and treasures well. Without it, even the most abundant blessings can quickly slip away. To neglect your health is to risk losing everything else you value, because it is the wellspring from which all success flows. Time is the most precious asset. Misuse it and all else slips away. Unlike money or possessions, time cannot be earned back once it is spent. Every moment that passes is gone forever, making time the most limited and invaluable resource we have. How you choose to use your time ultimately shapes the course of your life, your achievements, and your relationships. When time is wasted on distractions, procrastination, or activities that do not align with your goals and values, you are effectively letting opportunities slip through your fingers. Misusing time creates a ripple effect. It affects your ability to manage other resources effectively. If you don't allocate your time wisely, your talents remain undeveloped, your relationships grow distant, and your goals remain unmet. Time mismanagement breeds stress and chaos, leaving you constantly trying to catch up, reacting to life rather than directing it. It's the thief that robs you of peace, progress, and fulfillment. On the other hand, when you treat time as the priceless asset it is, you become intentional about how you spend it. You prioritize what matters most, set boundaries to protect your focus, and use every moment with purpose. This discipline opens the door for productivity, growth, and meaningful connection. Mastering your time means mastering your life, because time is the frame in which all your experiences and achievements occur. Lose control of your time, and everything else you value will inevitably slip away. Guard it well, and you lay the foundation for lasting success and joy. Planning and prioritizing is the art of sustainable success. It is not enough to simply have goals or dreams. Without a clear plan and a sense of what matters most, progress becomes random and fleeting. Planning gives you a roadmap, a thoughtful, deliberate outline of the steps needed to reach a destination. It transforms vague aspirations into actionable tasks, allowing you to move forward with confidence and direction. Prioritizing then helps you focus your energy on what will have the greatest impact, ensuring that your efforts are not scattered or wasted on trivial matters. Together, planning and prioritizing create a system of intentionality that preserves your resources and maximizes your results. They guard against burnout and overwhelm by breaking down large objectives into manageable pieces and setting realistic timelines. This approach allows for steady, consistent progress rather than chaotic bursts of effort that quickly fade. Sustainable success is about endurance and balance, and that can only come when you plan carefully and choose priorities wisely. Planning and prioritizing enable you to adapt when unexpected challenges arise. Because you know your ultimate goals and have a clear structure, you can adjust without losing sight of the bigger picture. This flexibility is crucial for long-term success, as it helps you navigate change while maintaining momentum. The art of sustainable success lies in this disciplined practice of mapping out your path and focusing on what truly matters. Because without it, even the best intentions will falter, and lasting achievement will remain out of reach. Every loss begins with mismanagement. Even the smallest detail matters. It's often easy to overlook the little things, dismissing them as insignificant or assuming they won't make much difference. But in reality, success and failure are both built on a foundation of countless small decisions and actions. When any part of that foundation is mismanaged, no matter how minor, it creates a weakness that can grow over time, leading to loss that might have been preventable. Mismanagement doesn't always show itself in dramatic ways. It can start with ignoring deadlines, neglecting proper communication, or failing to follow through on small commitments. These seemingly minor lapses compound, creating gaps and cracks that weaken relationships, drain resources, or stall progress. Often people only notice the loss after it has become significant, unaware that it began long before with tiny errors in management. This truth teaches us the importance of vigilance and care in every detail. Managing well means paying attention to the small things as much as the big picture. Understanding that excellence is not an accident, but the result of consistent, mindful effort. By addressing even the smallest elements with discipline and responsibility, you create a strong and resilient foundation that protects you from loss and sets the stage for growth. Ignoring details is a risk no one can afford to take, because every loss, no matter how large, starts with something small slipping through the cracks. You cannot give what you do not manage. This principle speaks to the essence of responsibility and stewardship. Before you can offer your talents, resources, time, or energy to others, you must first have a firm grasp on managing them yourself. It is impossible to share or contribute effectively if what you possess is neglected, disorganized, or depleted. Just like a wellspring that runs dry cannot provide water to others. Your ability to give depends entirely on how well you care for and oversee what you have been entrusted with. Managing yourself and your resources is the foundation of generosity and leadership. When you take control of your priorities, your emotions, your finances, and your skills, you position yourself to serve others more effectively. Without that management, your efforts may be scattered, your commitments unreliable, and your contributions diminished. It is through responsible management that you create abundance, not just for yourself, but for those who depend on you. This idea also challenges us to examine the quality of what we offer. Giving without proper management can lead to inconsistency, exhaustion, or even harm. But when you manage well, you give from a place of strength, clarity, and sustainability. In this way, managing what you have is not selfish. It is the very act that enables meaningful giving. Ultimately, you cannot pour out what you have not first taken care to cultivate, organize, and preserve. The capacity to give begins with the discipline to manage well. The law of stewardship is clear. Mismanage what's given and you forfeit it. When something is entrusted to you, whether it's time, talent, resources, or responsibilities, you become a caretaker, not an owner. This trust comes with an expectation that you will protect, nurture, and wisely use what has been placed in your hands. Failure to do so is not just careless, it breaks the very agreement of stewardship and leads to loss. Mismanagement signals to the source of the trust that you are not prepared or worthy to continue holding what was given. It might manifest as neglect, waste, poor decision-making, or a lack of accountability. When this happens, the resource is taken away, not necessarily as punishment, but as a natural consequence of failing to fulfill your role. The law of stewardship teaches us that everything we have is temporary and conditional on how well we manage it. Understanding this law shifts our perspective from entitlement to responsibility. It reminds us that possessions and opportunities are not permanent guarantees, but privileges that demand respect and diligence. When you steward well, you honor the trust and often receive more. But when you mismanage, you risk losing what you value most. This principle is a call to vigilance, integrity, and care in all areas of life, because stewardship is the foundation upon which lasting success and legacy are built. Greatness comes from intentional management, not chance. It is easy to believe that success or greatness happens by luck or random opportunity, but the truth is far different. Behind every story of achievement is a deliberate process of managing resources, time, talents, and choices with purpose and clarity. Greatness is not a fleeting moment of fortune. It is the result of consistent, intentional actions that steer you toward your highest potential. Intentional management means setting clear goals, creating plans, and making disciplined decisions every day. It requires you to prioritize what truly matters, to focus your energy where it will produce the greatest results, and to remain accountable even when motivation wanes. Without this conscious effort, potential remains dormant and opportunities slip away unnoticed. Chance might open a door, but only intentional management allows you to walk through it and build something lasting on the other side. Greatness demands resilience and adaptability, qualities nurtured through careful management. It is in the daily choices, how you respond to setbacks, how you learn from mistakes, and how you persist, that intentional management reveals its power. Chance may influence circumstances, but it cannot replace the steady hand of deliberate stewardship. To rise to greatness, you must take control of your journey and manage every aspect with intention, for that is where true and lasting success is born. Success is a product of disciplined management in all areas of life. It is not something that happens by accident or simply because of talent or luck. True success is the result of consistently applying order, focus, and responsibility to every part of your existence. Whether it's your health, relationships, finances, time, or personal growth. Discipline acts as the glue that holds all these elements together, ensuring they work in harmony rather than pulling you in different directions. Now, when you manage yourself with discipline, you set clear boundaries, develop good habits, and commit to doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. This disciplined approach prevents chaos, reduces wasted effort, and builds momentum over time. It allows you to overcome distractions and temptations that might otherwise derail your progress. The areas of your life that receive disciplined attention become sources of strength and stability, supporting your goals and dreams. Disciplined management fosters resilience. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but with discipline, you maintain control and continue moving forward. It helps you stay accountable, learn from mistakes, and adapt without losing sight of your objectives. Success, then, is not a single achievement, but a steady accumulation of well-managed actions and decisions. By embracing discipline in all areas of life, you create the conditions for lasting success that is both meaningful and fulfilling. In every moment, the way you manage what you've been given determines whether you build a legacy or watch it slip away. Remember, greatness is not accidental. It is forged through intentional, disciplined management of every part of your life. When you take full responsibility for your talents, time, emotions, and resources, you unlock the power to create lasting success that no chance or circumstance can take from you. So commit today to steward what you have with care, to lead with purpose, and to manage with excellence. Because what you manage well, you will keep, and what you neglect, you will inevitably lose. Your future depends not on luck, but on the choices you make right now. Manage wisely, and greatness will be your inheritance. Thank you.